Hello there, my name's Card. I'm a long-time progressive community organiser and activist. And today I just want to briefly talk about a reactionary dog whistle that's been around for a while now, as well as what it really means, who's using it, and why. For those who might not know, in politics, a dog whistle is a word, a phrase, or a symbol which seems perfectly innocent and innocuous to most people, but which really communicates a more sinister hidden message to those in the know. Additionally, there'll also be a playlist of videos of mine, linked at the top of the description, which goes into detail about all sorts of reactionary dog whistles and how to spot them. Today specifically, I wanted to talk about references to Garloids and how they've become a part of contemporary reactionary iconography, particularly in online spaces. Anonymous image board websites like 4chan and 8chan are home to a lot of far right-wing people who use something of an ever-evolving canon of esoteric memes to communicate. Usually, people like that largely just congregate on the designated political boards of websites like those, where they talk amongst themselves and share resources and sometimes make plans for things to do offline. Theoretically, it would be easy for an outsider to observe those particular areas of these image board websites and be able to suss out what people are doing there and even infiltrate the online communities which start out as a collection of image board posters. But in order to prevent this from easily happening, regular posters on the right-wing political sections of these websites will co-opt a lot of the obtuse lingo and memes from other parts of the site in order to make it much more difficult for someone unfamiliar with these terms to follow along with anything that's being said. Additionally, by doing this, online alt-right types will be able to recognize one another on the rest of the internet by referencing these terms and jokes. And if they're ever called out for openly referencing a reactionary image board term, because these terms often don't appear to be openly offensive, they've got a bit of undue plausible deniability to try and wiggle out of any accusation like that. On a site like 4chan, for example, users of the infamous poll board have adopted many of the terms and jokes created or popularized by the video games subsection of the website. To that end, one strange meme poll regulars will use to communicate amongst themselves and locate one another on other websites is to reference purchasing or owning a creature called a Garloid, which is a fictitious marine animal, sort of like a very large worm. Among 4chan users, originally, owning a Garloid was just a surreal joke which played off the idea of wanting something weird and obscure. But now, this old meme is just something of a way for really hardcore, experienced 4chan users to reference something really oblique most people won't understand or be able to intuit the meaning behind. And that's why alt-right types have started to use it, because it's something you would only properly know about and recognize if you'd been on 4chan for a while, most likely. So if you happen to see people online, or elsewhere, referencing the idea of this fake sea creature, a Garloid, it may sound like just a dumb joke, but it's actually something they've picked up from being in some pretty noxious places online, and they're likely referencing it in the hopes that someone with views similar to them will notice and pick up on the fact they're familiar with alt-right terminology and likely, therefore at least, sympathetic to their views. For the sake of keeping your spaces and community safe, it never hurts to be able to recognise and spot these sorts of things so you can properly call it out and explain it and remove the people posting this sort of stuff. That's all I have to say today. I hope it helps. Once again, my name's Card. If you want to hear more from me, especially more about emerging or obscure reactionary dog whistles and how to spot them, feel free to subscribe to this YouTube page, or just take a look at my other videos. Either way, goodbye for now, and stay safe out there.